Brand new Harley-Davidsons that dealerships once sold for $30,000 are now languishing on showroom floors with $11,000 fire sale tags, and dealers are so desperate they are begging buyers to take them. In America right now, more than 60,000 unsold motorcycles, worth nearly $2.5 billion, sit collecting dust, as debt piles up and interest charges hit $73,000 per dealer each month. The legendary hog has become a liability overnight, sparking dealer bankruptcies and panic discounts on every major brand. But how did America's most iconic motorcycle become nearly impossible to sell? And what does this pricing bloodbath really mean for anyone looking to buy in 2024? The answer shakes the entire industry, and it is only getting started. Harley-Davidson factories spent the last 4 years ramping up output, chasing pandemic-fueled demand that vanished almost overnight. By mid-2025, more than 60,000 new motorcycles, Harleys, Indians, Hondas, sat idle in American showrooms. That's nearly $2.5 billion in machines gathering dust, not miles. The glut traces back to 2021 and 2022, when manufacturers pushed production to record highs. Harley's global shipments topped 180,000 units in 2023, but by the end of 2024, the company slashed shipments by 53% in a single quarter, desperate to stem the flood. But the bikes kept coming. Corporate allocation contracts locked dealers into minimum order requirements, regardless of local demand. Refuse a shipment, and the franchise was at risk. One Ohio dealer accepted 47 sport bikes in January, midwinter when sales flatlined, because turning them away meant losing their agreement. Across the country, dealers found themselves forced to accept inventory they couldn't move, the price for keeping their doors open. Industry data shows average dealer inventory has ballooned to 16 weeks' worth of bikes, headed for 20 as the year closes. That's double the healthy norm. Some regions report 3 years' worth of adventure bikes shipped for everyone actually sold. The mismatch isn't just seasonal lag, it's a structural oversupply built into the contracts. Dealers call it shipped, not sold. A paper victory for the factory, a financial time bomb for the showroom. Every unsold bike racks up daily interest, insurance, and storage costs. Floor plan financing, essentially a running meter on every unit, charges between $200 and $400 per month per bike. Multiply that by hundreds of unsold motorcycles, and monthly debt climbs into 6 figures. Even as manufacturers scale back production, the backlog remains. The system, designed to protect factory margins, offloads risk onto dealers who now face a choice: discount deeply or drown in debt. Now, showroom aisles overflow with new models aging in place. The result is a market where scarcity has flipped to surplus, and the once coveted Harley badge is no longer enough to guarantee a sale. The oversupply tsunami has turned every dealership into a warehouse and every unsold bike into a liability. Patricia Rodriguez unlocks the dealership at 6:30 each morning, the silence inside broken only by the echo of her own footsteps. 5 years ago, Mountain View Harley buzzed with energy. 47 employees, 3 sales desks running flat out, and a parking lot that filled every Saturday with local riders. Now, just 8 staff remain. The rest are gone, casualties of a debt spiral that started with a single missed payment and snowballed into something nobody could control. Each month, Patricia faces a bill for $28,000 in floor plan interest alone, money owed just to keep unsold motorcycles under her roof. That number used to be $7,800, manageable when bikes turned over every few weeks. But as inventory piled up and sales dried up, the interest charges grew. The showroom, once a place for celebrations and new bike deliveries, has become a holding pen for machines that accumulate dust and debt in equal measure. The math is relentless. With 110 unsold motorcycles on the floor, every day adds $930 in interest. Insurance and utilities push the total even higher. In 2022, the shop moved 36 bikes a month. This summer, they're lucky to sell 4. Each sale now comes at a loss. Patricia points to a row of street glides with $4,000 slashed off the sticker and admits, "We're paying people to take them." The staff cuts weren't a choice. Service techs with 20 years' experience handed in their keys. The parts manager left for a warehouse job. Patricia tried to hold on, hoping for a turnaround, but the numbers never improved. Harley kept shipping bikes she didn't order. Allocation clauses in the franchise agreement meant refusing delivery could trigger a breach. Each new shipment meant more interest, more pressure, more sleepless nights. The final blow came in July, when the bank called her note. The dealership's assets, bikes, parts, tools, liquidated for less than half their book value. Employees gathered for one last potluck in the break room, trading stories and phone numbers. Patricia locked the doors for the last time. A business built over 2 decades undone by a system that punished caution and rewarded risk with ruin. Across town, a rival dealer offered her $1,500 for a Road King that cost her $21,000. She took it. Anything to stop the bleeding. The market now teems with deals that would have sounded like scams 2 years ago. But for Patricia and her staff, the numbers aren't just bargains. They're the price of survival in a business that no longer adds up. Nightster, Street Bob, Sportster S, Road King, Heritage, Street Glide, Road Glide, CVO Street Glide, 8 names that once stood for Harley Prestige, now headlining the wildest markdowns in the company's history. A 2023 Nightster, stickered at $12,499 last fall, is moving for $9,990 out the door. Street Bobs that held at $15,999 for years are slipping into the $11,500 range, with some dealers tossing in free maintenance just to get them off the floor. The Sportster S, once the poster child for Harley's modern muscle, is clearing at $12,800, down from $16,399, and still no takers in some cities. Touring machines tell the same story, only with bigger numbers. Road Kings that cost $21,999 in 2022 are being liquidated at $13,900, with leftover models dipping lower if you ask for a cash price. Heritage Classics, once a $19,999 icon with studded bags and white walls, are stacked up at $14,200 with demo miles and full warranty. Street Glides, the backbone of Harley's touring lineup, are being listed at $17,900, sometimes $11,000 off the original MSRP, and still eligible for 0.99% APR on select 2024s. Road Glides, the darling of the rally crowd, are breaking below $18,000 in some southern markets, a figure that would have sounded like a typo 2 summers ago. Then there's the CVO Street Glide, once a $49,999 status symbol, now wearing clearance tags for $34,995, with a few leftover 2023s at $32,800. That's a $12,000 drop on Harley's most exclusive badge. Chrome for days, custom paint, every option, and still sitting unsold. Dealers aren't just discounting. They're layering on free accessories, prepaid service, and even extended warranties, all to clear bikes before the next shipment arrives. For buyers, it's a feast. For dealers, it's a last-ditch lifeline. The Harley badge hasn't been this affordable in decades, and the numbers keep falling. Indian dealerships are clearing floors with 1.99% APR for 36 months. Zero down, no tricks, just a straight shot at new 2025 Scouts and 2024 Chiefs. Trade-in credits stack on top. $2,000 for a Power Plus Chieftain, $1,000 for a Sport Chief, all valid through August 31st. Customers walk out with an extra year of warranty and $200 in gear if they've ever worn a badge or served in uniform. Meanwhile, Royal Enfield is running 0% financing for 24 months on leftover Hunter 350s and Meteor 350s, or $800 off if you bring cash. Every bike comes with 3 years of unlimited mileage coverage, roadside assistance, and no upcharge for the warranty. Standard, not a promo. Kawasaki's most aggressive move in years dropped the Ninja 650 to $7,399 for 2025, a $900 cut from last summer. The KLX 300 Dual Sport sits at $5,449 after a $750 reduction, and ZX-4R buyers save $400 off last year's sticker. Honda's rebates reach $2,500 on some street models, with 1.99% financing for 2 years. KTM is throwing in up to $2,250 in accessories and parts with every 2024 Duke or Adventure, plus 2.99% APR for the qualified. Ducati has a 0% APR offer for 60 months on Scramblers and Monsters, with 90 days before the first payment hits. BMW's cashback deals top out at $2,500 for the S1000RR, and Triumph, Suzuki, and Yamaha are layering on military and first responder discounts, $250 to $500 off, plus low-rate financing on select models. Royal Enfield's 0% deal wraps at the end of September, but the $800 customer credit will stick around for a few weeks longer. Every brand is fighting to move metal, and the roster of markdowns now runs well beyond Harley. For buyers, it's a rare moment. 15 bikes, 7 brands, and a showroom floor where the best deal might wear a badge from Milwaukee, Chennai, Tokyo, or Munich. In 2024, over 60,000 unsold motorcycles sat in U.S. showrooms, with some Harley-Davidson models dropping from $30,000 to as low as $11,000. Dealers like Patricia Rodriguez at Mountain View Harley faced $28,000 a month in interest, leading to mass staff cuts and bikes sold at a loss. These price collapses weren't limited to Harley-Davidson. Indian, Kawasaki, and Royal Enfield also rolled out record-low financing and price cuts, offering buyers unprecedented deals. Yet, even as 15 standout bargains turned industry turmoil into opportunity, key questions remain. Will dealer closures continue? And how will manufacturers respond to shifting demand? The documents show a clear cause: overproduction, forced shipments, and rising costs. But the long-term impact on service access and local economies is still unfolding. What's certain is this: the motorcycle market's upheaval has rewritten the rules for buyers and sellers alike, with numbers and stories that will shape the industry for years to come.